So,
yeah, I'm still not ready for the show. I spent 2 days totally not preparing for today.
Yeah, no, I think that's appropriate. I think we're in the whole taking breaks thing and all that kind of stuff. So, what we were just talking about off, what we got to do, especially considering where I think we're going to start today's show, is with some gratitudes, because we do that when it's hard, right? Like that's sort of specifically when you want to do that. And like, I'm grateful my hairdo is this good.
What's funny is like Corey was chastising me for not telling him his hair was a mess, and I'm like, Corey,
kind of a joke, but yeah,
it's sort of it's an everyday thing. I never know whether what's going to happen with Corey's hair. So
yeah, every once in a while I get it cut or like accidentally took a shower and it looks like a normal human person. But I mean, if you go back through the ages of this show we do together, there's been some real like baseball head or basketball head type situation. So I feel like I look pretty respectable. Setting the bar.
Yeah, 82. That's the answer to your question.
What was the question?
Days left. How many days left?
Oh, yeah, I forgot I had that on there.
Well, okay, but with an asterisk, because...
Yeah, no, it should be, like, take off 20, right? Like, just, like, I think it was, like, October 20th is what they were talking about, because you want to give at least 2 weeks, but, like, let's give it 3 weeks. Like, why wait?
Well, yeah, mine was a really dark reference to, we'll see if at the end of 82 days...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember...
Wait, I got to be grateful. Wait,
yes,
I have to be grateful.
Yeah, and everyone else is too. So, yes, you get yours out. I'm going to do a real one.
I'm grateful for the tenacity of our friends and viewers and listeners who refuse to be gaslit and fall into the trap of believing completely unprovable nonsense. I'm grateful for the sharpness of our viewing and listening crowd. Would I like there to be 10,000 of them? Yes, but only if they're all this smart. So,
I like it.
Grateful for our listeners and viewers today. Very grateful.
I think this is maybe just as a little aside, because I kind of want to think about this more, especially as I started thinking more about Chirp. Like, we ruthlessly cut out dog shit, right? If you come in here and you make a claim, you have to be able to prove it, right, or we turf you, right? By the way, we're on YouTube today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Bubbleviz is here talking about SpaceX because I titled this thing "SpaceShips and Chill." So Bubbleviz, we will absolutely talk to you about the giant flying stainless steel water tower because that is righteous. It's super fun. So we've created what some people would call a bubble, but like for my own personal quality of life, like my Facebook page is becoming the same way. Like I blocked 6-7 more people in the middle of the night for being clearly propaganda parrots and white grievance type people that, I mean, I'm not gonna have them in my life. I'm just not gonna. So it's interesting. Anyway, I'm completely gonna copy you, especially reading the gratitudes that are coming in right now. Just completely grateful for the people in this community that we're kind of growing up with or growing into together. It's just
Hey, just awesome. Real quickly, no, Ginny, we're in both platforms. We can in StreamYard we can do multiple platforms, so you're good. Stay in Facebook. Yes. Wherever you want to watch, we'll see the comments either way. So that's cool.
Janie's grateful. I do not have a sinkhole, and the indentation in my backyard is my back neighbor's plumbing. Oh, damn. Fred Eater, grateful for my unemployment coming in. Channel 12 News must have scared DES. I love the media. Weird.
But I'm told the media is the problem. The media is where racism comes from.
I thought they were the enemy. We're also going to have to talk about the superhero reporter from yesterday. Sue said, I'm so thankful for the show. Woke up thinking it was Thursday. I appreciate the show keeps some sort of semblance to my week. A semblance? I didn't even know that was a word, but yeehaw. Warren, grateful to still be able to walk and grateful for new love. Yay, man.
I saw your relationship status change the other day, Warren. Congratulations. That's cool.
That's adorable. Susan, grateful for electricity. We got hit pretty hard with the Derico.
Did you see this huge Midwest storm? It's called a Derico. It's like hurricane force with 100-mile-an-hour winds in Iowa and Illinois.
What the shit? I saw some. Yeah, I saw some. A friend of ours in Chicago was saying like a tree fell on his car or some shit like that.
Yep.
That's nuts. Jareen grateful for a new day. Rhonda, grateful for my handyman finally got my pool timer working after 3 new $80 timers. All right. I mean, yeehaw.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, Fred said I like the small group. I feel like they're my friends. I wouldn't feel that way if you had 10,000. So here's the thing. If this show ever grew to the point where there were 10,000 people and we're getting into that everyday astronaut problem of like the whole thing's going by at 9 miles an hour, 90,000 miles an hour, we would have a special group that was only for family. And you'd have to either be part of the founding member or work your way into where we actually gave a shit what your comments were. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Mom is grateful for the sanity of this show. Well, Mom, I'm grateful that you made me out of your parts. So it's kind of on you. It got weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm all a Twitter because if it all goes right, we're getting a lavender toilet installed this morning.
Wow.
Elizabeth has a thing for funky colored bathroom fixtures.
Like you do.
And
all right.
She's got some really cool ones. And I remember that here in Florida, a lot of houses were sold with crazy pink and other colored toilet fixtures. And
right.
Yeah, they're kind of collector's items now. So that's cool. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna bring it up.
What are we bringing up?
There's like a little thing that happened. I'll find it.
Okay, way to set up the clip.
Yep. Well, I gotta find it first. Sorry. I figure this is one of those things that should have been happening like every single time that any reporters get anywhere near the president. And of course it doesn't. So yeah, this is where we're gonna start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. I listen to Nicole Oz too much. There we go. So this is like the first time we've ever seen this happen.
Mr. President, after 3.5 years, do you regret it all? Lying you've done to the American people?
All the what?
Pause.
That who has done?
You have done. Tens of
Go ahead,
thousands.
please. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the payroll tax.
Okay, fuck the payroll tax guy. Like, fuck that guy.
That guy. It was really okay. It was hard to hear what got said there. So do you want to recap it?
Yeah. Oh, sure. And I think there's like a better version of the video where you can actually see the dude.
Right.
But yeah, a reporter in the White House asks, Trump if he regrets all the lies that he tells all the time.
Right.
And, like Trump literally just goes like, "Do whoop what? So what?" Here, there's like a little caption.
3.5 years, do you regret it all? All the lying you've done to the American people. On
all the what?
All the lying.
On everything.
No, he didn't face an uncomfortable question. He avoided it.
He ran away from it. This is getting very specific.
Tens of
Yeah,
thousands.
go ahead, please.
Tens of thousands. Anyway, yeah, like every reporter after that should have been like, no, we want an answer to that question, please.
Right.
But why stop being cowards now? Yeah, thank you, Giggle Track. Huffington Post reporter was who that guy was.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's incredible that it took this long. He went with the low estimate of tens of thousands because we know it's over 20. So before we got on air, Greg, I just want to bring it up because I was literally up between 2 and 5 o'clock this morning, feeling exactly the way that you just described. Worried that we've already lost. And I'm having a hard time shaking that. That's why I keep screaming about getting out the vote and like just making sure we do everything we possibly can and like we'll do that for our community for sure. Of course. But yeah, I don't know what the right answer to that is. Because I mean, we're at the situation now where he's unilaterally destroying the post office. He's telling everyone he's unilaterally destroying the post office. Congress is doing checks notes, literally nothing.
Yeah, the
right?
Senate went home yesterday.
Right. And like and there's people calling out from many states now that something is going really, really wrong in an election that is going to be 2 or 3 times more mail-in votes than normal. The post office just simply won't be able to handle it. And he's doing that knowing that like old people are getting their medication through the mail, and he just like, well, and we already know he doesn't care, but like this is further proof. He's willing to kill as many of us as he needs to get reelected.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's where I am with this. It's not even about him being legitimately elected anymore. It's about delegitimizing the entire election process. And the danger there is, I've been thinking about this for a while because we've been talking about cryptocurrency and what currency is, what money is, and money is an agreement on the value of something, right? It's that we agree that this piece of paper is worth this much, this many chickens, right? And when a country's currency, when people stop believing in a country's currency, a chicken that costs $1 American dollar could cost 3 million Zimbabwean dollars. So I think elections are the same thing, that they're important because of our confidence in them. And just destroying our confidence in the election may mean we've already passed the tipping point. Because I'll tell you what, I've been advocating for vote by mail for longer than I've been voting by mail. In other words, I always like to go to my polling location because shenanigans happen there. People stand too close to the door and try and influence your vote. And I like to be a person that goes on election day, thanks to poll workers who are all volunteers or at least, low paid for temporary work. And I like to be there on voting day. But I started voting by mail because I was advocating for it, knowing that turnout is higher and completion of ballots is better when we have vote by mail in place, right? We have some statistical data that shows it allows people that normally wouldn't be able to vote or even motivated to vote. If the ballot comes to your house, you have plenty of time to look it over, especially on a complex ballot where you have lots of ballot initiatives that are complicated and you have time to look into those things. So I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for vote by mail. But I would never have imagined that I would be literally watching videos of trucks going around and picking up mailboxes in blue states and blue cities. I would never have imagined having postal workers go on NPR and say, yeah, they're taking down equipment that we used to sort mail, and mail is piling up in our building. That's all designed to destroy your confidence that your ballot is going to get counted and processed, and it's working. It's going to work. At some level, is it going to reduce voter turnout by 10%, by 20%, by 30%? And even worse, when we start seeing video footage from inside post offices of ballots sitting on the floor somewhere, not being counted, not being processed, not being sent. Who's going to believe the election result now, right? Well, the answer is not nearly enough people. And if that happens, that makes his argument that the election was fixed or rigged, which he argued last time, even though he won, right? That makes his argument that much stronger. And it's the death knell of democracy. It's one of those indicators that we have lost our country. I don't feel good about that. I had a bad night last night. We were sitting up outside back at Mishi's house at 2:00 in the morning, Donna and Mishi and I talking about this very thing. And I'm, what if we've already lost? What if this has worked and we've already lost? And I don't know there's no answer to that question. We won't know until January. So it's like, I had an analogy in mind, like where I lived in Africa, if you got bit by a mamba or a cobra, you had to have the antivenin on you because you had a matter of minutes to get that antivenin in you or you were going to die. We had one snake there called a boomslang, and the only place in the world where they had the antivenin for the snake bite was in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you had to get it within 6 hours of being bit or you were going to die. Well, we were 8 hours from Johannesburg. So where I lived, if you got bit by a boomslang, you had about 6 hours to get your affairs together, write your will, and you'd then die. This feels like that, like we already got bit by the snake, and we're just in our 6 hour waiting period. And I know that, and I stressed about this last night. Like I like to come on the show and be positive and talk about good things that are happening, and I try very hard to do that. But I have to tell you, I don't feel that today. I don't feel like we have anything good today. I can't get my head around this. I think we may have already lost.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to do all the same things, so we're still going to do all the same things. But
right, like when I think about brave action in the face of adversity, I think about the people in the Polish underground who literally knew they were all going to be slaughtered. They knew they were all going to die, and they fought anyway. I think about civil rights activists that knew they were going to get beaten and harassed and maybe killed, and they registered voters anyway. I don't want to be melodramatic, and I don't want to put myself in their shoes. But the question about what I will do is I will keep doing the same thing. I will keep doing the same thing, and I will do it until I'm not able to do it anymore. This is the first presidency where it's ever been more than academic. What would I do if teams of secret police were going around rousting people out of their beds at night and shooting them? It used to be an academic question. It's the thing I was always horrified to read about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure it's quite so funny anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I think we'd be behind anybody's list, but we're very visible, and we're very critical of the administration. We're very critical of local law enforcement officials that support this president. How's that going to work out for people that are outspoken in public?
Yeah,
Alexander
Rachel.
Josephine, I kind of, hopelessness is a feeling, not a fact. Okay, but there are facts that are indicating we're going to have a real problem here. That, if what Rachel was saying last night, and I didn't watch it, but I heard about it, is that the Pentagon is now talking about having soldiers sign, an additional oath that says they won't follow an illegal order.
I need to correct that because it's not the Pentagon talking about that. It's a guy that just left the Pentagon.
Okay,
right?
But is he saying they're doing that at the Pentagon?
No, he's saying he's calling for the Pentagon to have them do it.
Well, it's in the oath. It's in the oath that you
that's
take.
Exactly it. It's like you're doubling it up. But there was another guy who was
it's general orders. It's in the general orders,
right? An analyst against, basically telling the Pentagon and the intelligence outfits, consulting on countries that go authoritarian, left his post. He was on basically because he was out protesting with Black Lives Matter, and he started getting treated like the enemy within the Pentagon itself, and quit. So it's there's every reason to be 100% freaked out by this.
Yeah,
you would think that the institutions would have the means to protect themselves, that there would be more people, standing on this line, but there aren't. And that's freaky because countries die all the time, democracies die all the time, and and this is the thing: Trump wins again, we're going to be out on the street calling for his impeachment 5 seconds later, right? Because we're going to have to.
Yeah,
but
if Trump wins again, we're not going to win the House or the Senate back. Well,
there's no reason to think they could switch the House unless it's completely and totally.
I'm just saying we're not going to have enough leverage to stop him if he wins.
No, literally tens of millions of people need to be out in the streets. That's
right.
what it's
and,
gonna take.
and many of us will be rounded up and shot, and the rest will be intimidated and not going out again because we're Americans, and I don't think we have that in us.
Well, maybe not. And honestly, that might be where it's at. Like that. I mean, again, like we're talking about Belarus, which is the people are finally going on the street. Well, it was 25 years.
Yeah.
Right. So how complacent are we? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, Jareen, the question was whether the Pentagon should be having soldiers sign or pledge some sort of pledge that they're not going to follow any legal order. And I'm reminded they already do that. It's in your standing general orders. It's every soldier, airman, sailor, Coast Guardsman, and Marine, has to learn those standing general orders by you have to memorize them.
Right.
You have to know them.
I think
so it's internalized in boot camp.
It's super weird that somebody recently out of the military and a serious person who she has been following for a long time is now demanding that high-ranking people at the Pentagon sign that again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And by the way, not following an illegal order doesn't always work.
Right.
Because if your chain of command is giving you the order, and you have to complain to your chain of command, you can be prosecuted and sent to Leavenworth for 25 years, or if things are dire enough, lined up against the wall and shot, for desertion or treason.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Snowden decided not to continue obeying illegal orders.
Okay, but he was not in the military. Like, there's a different.
It's intelligence. It's not that different.
No, there is a difference in those two things, right? That we're one of the few. I think probably our military was the first to have this as a thing. Our military is trained to think for themselves down to the individual soldier unit level, and most other large countries, large standing armies are not. In other words, if everybody in your chain of command is dead but you are the responsible person for following orders or giving orders. So that's ingrained in our soldiers in a way that it often isn't in other armies. That's why coups are so easy in many countries, because the soldiers are not taught to think, hey, is this in line with the Constitution of our country? Right? And most soldiers are not taught that. So
obey, do it blindly, do it now.
Leaving that window even slightly open in our military it's fucking terrifying. Really, that's terrifying to me, because we could end up and I thought about this when we were having, when he was talking about rolling the army out into cities. Well, if the California National Guard is ordered not to allow the army to shoot at protesters, then we end up with what? National Guard troops and U.S. Army troops shooting at each other. But, that's a line. That's a line that will definitely indicate our country is done. And furthermore, I had a hard time imagining there will be some commanders who order their troops to fire on each other. There will be some commanders that don't. How many of which are there? And we really don't know. Civil War II. I don't know, man. This is terrifying me. And I mean, I've been low grade fearful for a while, but this is heart palpitation scary. This is not cool.
I would like to thank you, Mr. Greg, for taking my title as worst fucking pep talker ever.
I mean, I know, and I'm aware that how hard this lands.
Dude,
we come here, we come here for some hope.
Yeah.
But I don't have much hope today. I don't, maybe I need some hope from you guys, because I just don't got it.
Well, and I think we need to honor that when it shows up, right? Like we can't just wash over it and pretend like fucking everybody is happy go lucky or whatever, because all this shit is real, right? It's really screwed up. It's really fucked up. The country is right on the edge, and there aren't really. It feels like that many people who are taking that seriously, and it's freaked out. It's the same thing, Greg. It's the same thing when the Mueller report stuff started happening. Before Mueller, I think we started talking about all this crazy shit that was starting to come out, all the extremely credible reports that there was collusion with Russia. We were talking about that when nobody else was, and everyone was like, you people are fucking crazy. Oh, yeah? Right? And now here we are again, the canaries in the coal mine, freaking yelling about shit. And, and hopefully it's going to be okay. I would like nothing more than for fucking once this year to be proven completely wrong. I'm over being right about this shit because
Yeah. So for those that are joining late, Jesus and Don is asking, is he sharing the dick moment we were sharing with us last night? Yeah, because best case scenario is we have a conflicted election and things are difficult. Worst case, the election doesn't matter, and there's like a militarized martial law crackdown on America. And I a month ago, 5% chance of that happening. Today, 45% chance of that happening. I'm worried about that. So Jesus, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like this idea that that he has successfully undermined America's confidence in our electoral process, and that requires us to make massive change or never get it back. Right? I don't. I used to say that the longer we went down the road of not changing things, the more violent the change would have to be. And I think that's proving out. Like, and by violent, I mean violent. I think we might be headed for a spate of violence, internal violence in this country that we haven't seen since the 60s, and before that, since the Civil War, or the immediate period right after World War I, when there were literally soldiers killing people in the streets for rioting for labor rights. I'm not excited about where we are as a country today. I haven't been for a while, but this is much worse.
It's getting worse. Dave said, bet you I know a guy that is even worse pep talker than both of you, so that's a positive. I just wanted to throw that out there because I love Dave Myers, even though it drives me completely batshit crazy sometimes.
Yeah. Malik.
Yeah.
Cookie, how are you, man?
See, I have never had hope. Like, it's getting real for left white people. Most of us knew this was happening. Now it's too obvious. That's something that has come out with me watching the Black Lives Matter protest and watching, white people like me, frankly, like, because I'm, I think experiencing or being able to comprehend what it's like in over-policed communities that I was paying attention to before, right? Like, if you gave me a test on what the stats were, I knew the problem was there. But I think I'd be lying if I said I really understood it the way that I understand it now. And I still think that I don't understand it the way that somebody who has grown up with it for, 3, 4, 5 generations feels like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to maintain my level of understanding that even though I think I kind of know, I probably still don't know. So, man, I completely, thanks for showing up and sharing that with us. Cause I mean, you're obviously right. Like there's a lot of stuff that,
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like Rhonda's saying, goodness, after this talk, I'm going to start sleeping with my crossbow. Here's the thing, Rhonda. The problem here is that for far too long, and I'm pointing, specifically at my white American English speaking face. Okay, for far too long, when activists in the black community got murdered or assaulted or arrested on bullshit charges, when American Indian activists got rounded up and put in prison for life for murders they didn't commit, like Leonard Peltier, that didn't affect me personally, right? Leonard Peltier is not a friend of mine. Those black activists that disappear are not friends of mine. They're not people I know. People in those communities talk about it, and we ignore it. So I think for many of us, nothing will change. We'll go to work every day. We'll collect our paycheck. We'll pay our cable bill. But around you, more and more people are going to be threatened by direct action by a fascistic government. I hate myself. I loathe being a person that's saying this. I feel like Alex Jones right now, but the difference is this is actually happening.
How many freaking helicopters do you have to see hovering over the streets of Washington, literally to abuse people on the ground, right? Yeah. Or people literally kidnapped off the street in a fucking
using rotor wash to destroy medical supplies on the ground for protesters.
I mean, the Alex Jones thing. I mean, he's a fucking crazy person who lies every time he opens his mouth. He's just a proto-Trump, right?
Yeah.
Nothing we have ever said on this show cannot be backed up by facts. And if that's ever not the case, we retract it and correct the fuck out of it aggressively, right? I mean, that's so we've been building this bomb shelter of adherence to evidence for 4 years now, And, you know, here we are. So
Yeah.
like at least when it comes to not feeling like we're gaslit, like, oh shit, are we being crazy right now? We know we're not, right? Because we've all seen it. Everybody's seen all the tape. We're all watching what's happening. And I get the weird thing is how many people are still sleeping through it. Because you're right, like in Belarus even, right? You know, the vast majority of people, or at least the majority of people in that country for 25 years, were playing, no, it's fine. We got a dictator. Who cares? It's a joke. Ha, 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 ha. Right? Well, the protesters there are getting shot with live ammunition now.
Right. Lori McSpadden, we need a badass activist leader with a plan, a best practice on how to handle whatever voter suppression is going on in your state. Every state will need a different strategy, most likely. Scroll down me here. We need a real stable genius activist hero person. Guess what, Lori? You are that person. Like I am that person. We have to do it. We can't depend on anybody else to do that. We have to do that. And that's terrifying because those who step up will get punished.
I have to put this up there just because of the Ghostbusters reference. Remember the Bill Murray line from Ghostbusters? Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's what November 4th and 5th will be like, no matter who wins. And that's the worry, right? I mean, all the preconditioning that Trump is doing now, and the fires that he's setting, and all the things that he's breaking. To Greg's point, right off the bat, he's doing all of that so that no matter what happens, right? He either wins and it all goes away, or he loses and it was, you know, if it's within 5 points. There could be just utter dog shit in the streets. So that's fun. Anyways. Jesus said I low-key built a house in Mexico. All self-sufficient just in case. It should be ready in December. Yeah, it's messed up. I mean, that's kind of where we are.
Well, here's the other problem, Jesus. I mean, you know, I don't know what other people's situations are. I don't have a passport. Like, so last night we were having this conversation, Donna said, well, you know, we can all go to Europe. And I was like, my mom is here and my kids are here. I'm not leaving. I can't leave. I have family here. I'm here. I'm going to be here for this, whatever it is.
I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke about adopting you, but then you brought up all the family shit. That was really
hard. How do I get my family out? If you know,
yeah. So you know, other than that,
but I want to make sure I say, because Steve DeYoung saying the same thing. Not sure I can stay in the 75% Trump supported Pasco County if Trump wins. Hey, you know what, Steve? I'm glad you have the option. I'm sincerely glad you have the option. I just don't.
Yeah, Dave said we can't even go to Europe because of travel restrictions. True,
right.
True. Anyway, so that's the thing. Like, we're not going to be able to go. It's, I mean, you know, I could, but I still can't because, you know, we've got so many ties here. Well, and all my family's here now. So that's the thing. So this is the thing. We just have to win by 10 points. No big deal.
I hope that works. I've never, ever done anything like that before.
No, dude, it was obviously a tad hyperbolic. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's freaky. Yes, we're scared. There is no choice but to do literally everything that we can do anyway. Right? So we either turn this fear into action,
right,
or it eats us alive. And I'm not going to sit here and let that happen to us. And I know, like, sometimes we need some rest. Sometimes we need some time off. 1,000,000% accurate and allowed and good and encouraged. But then we come back and freaking throw our bodies onto the machine. My buddy Greg told me that. So, you know. And I mean, we're big dudes. We can fuck a machine up just by falling on it.
Well,
I said it.
And I'm sad and scared and tearful because I think that might be necessary. It's not academic anymore.
Yeah. You know, it's such a just seeing Wood saying, remember where you get your passport at the post office, and thinking about, you know, the idea. I think I first heard it from Chris Hayes, but I know that it's big in the progressive movement, and if I'm not mistaken, it's in Biden's platform now of turning post offices into credit unions.
Right.
Like, just like public option banking, right? Just super simple rules. You know, you have a free bank account, you know, yada, yada, yada. Just, you know, have have those things in places that are, completely and totally underserved or not served at all the infrastructure is there already. It's really, really easy to do. And that's interesting. So I wanted to get to Steve Young's point from way up thread about I think it's the post office in a particular area, I think, but it might actually be nationally. I should probably pull the article up so I know. But they want to have they've got a patent for a blockchain solution to increase the efficiency of the mail. So what this would do, because the best thing about a blockchain when you start getting it is that it's a decentralized database that cannot be hacked or changed without everyone involved knowing that it happened, right? So with Bitcoin, you could track your Bitcoin yourself. Every time you transact it, you can see the wallet that it goes to, you can see when it's confirmed, you know everything about it. So with this, it would kind of be the same thing. Like at every single point in the mail's journey, you would have on a public-private blockchain access with this private key, so no one but you would know that it was yours or whatever, right? You'd know where it was. And it also means that, data readable by the post office, they would be able to track everything in a perfectly decentralized way that was also private to the point where, nobody's going to be able to kind of know who stuff is what except for that person. So it's very interesting. They're going in that direction. And it seems like they had it ready because it came like the second that everything came way under threat, they just launched it, which is super fascinating to me. And, that like leading over to the best case scenario, like coming out of this, let's say Biden wins, like we got to fix shit. Say he doesn't win and everything's horrible and we come around, out the other side of it. Blockchain voting is exactly what needs to happen.
Right.
Because we will never, ever, ever worry about whether or not our vote is going to count ever again. You vote on your phone. It is perfectly secure, way more secure than a bank. And you know exactly where your vote is. When you want to check the polls, you fucking look on the blockchain and see that your vote was in there. It's part of what is gestalt counted. Third-party people would be able to actually ping the blockchain and do up all the count themselves. Like it's the way it needs to go to actually be completely and totally secure. And I only hope that it happens before we all die.
Yeah, I think Ginny made this point a little up thread about norms, about we depended for far too long on presidents paying attention to the way things have always been done. I think we're gonna have to codify a lot of things that have just been traditionally important into being legislative, into law. We're gonna have to actually cement them into law now, because we can't ever again count on a president not committing crimes while president. We need to codify that. Yes, a sitting president can be charged with crimes. We need to make that the law, right? That's just one thing of 20 I could probably list that we absolutely have to write into our. And maybe election laws now need to be nationalized and not allowing the states to make their own rules.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
Yep. So
I got nothing.
Yeah, spaceships and rockets and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching that hop test bubble of his.
Yeah,
it was very strange watching that thing fly on one offset, weird pointed motor.
You know why they did that, right?
I know you. It has to do with center of mass, right?
So, it's called a thrust puck. Basically, the big, huge metal plate between the rocket and the rest of the ship, like the rocket engine and the rest of the ship, is designed specifically to have 3 attachment points where it can drive thrust through. And so they had to put it where it's going to be, because there's going to be 3 rockets on the bottom. So they had to offset it. And then when they offset it, that's why they put that big, huge weight on the top, because it was going to have to know, like, that basically allowed it, the hovering to work better or some shit. I don't know. That's just what I.
Well, just the idea of gimbaled steerable, like.
Right. Well, and you can see it happen, right? Because it thrusts off the thing, and
then
like, I'm gonna have a rocket when I grow up. Probably not a record. So SN7, they're doing a new alloy on the pressure tank to hold the fuel to see if it can go way more, and they're just gonna blow that up, which is fun. And then SN8 is going to be tricked out with fins and the nose cone for high altitude tests.
So it'll look like an actual rocket.
Yes, it's going to look like a rocket from like Tintin, fucking like 1930s, which is crazy.
Oh boy!
All right, look at you. I wonder who this is.
Wow, I have no idea.
That's crazy. Okay, good talk.
Huh.
Anyways.
I just don't know where to go now.
Yeah, right? Like, where do you go with that?
Do you know what's funny, Ginny? Ginny's talking about Dave Myers. Then seriously, check out people moving to Africa. It's not as expensive as many people think. Internet is available. You know what? I actually have an idea. I don't have a plan, but I have a thought about going to Botswana for 3 or 4 months to research for a book that I would like to write. And when I started thinking about that, I was thinking I could emigrate to Botswana. There's an idea. It's a peaceful, amazing southern African country.
Right.
Peaceful, democratically ruled for 50-something years now.
It's like that. Is that like a mass exodus in the other direction? I mean,
Yeah.
crazier things have happened.
Go there as an immigrant and try not to be a colonizer.
Right? No. I'm here as a guest. Thank you for letting me come to here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dave, Virginia, I'm second generation Swedish. I'm 100% go to the homeland as a bonus. I like pickled things and cheap furniture. So, because that's where IKEA is from. Yeah. Well, goodness. And I'm already a soccer fan, so I could live in Africa and be very happy with the sports scene for the rest of my days.
Mhm.
Yeah. Start following the Bulawayo North Stars again.
That's a thing.
It is. Yeah. No. It's not South Africa. Cookie. It's the next country north. Botswana is where I lived when I was a kid, and they are specifically not South Africa.
But isn't it like
have
in
been
the
not South
south?
Africa for a long time? Yeah. It's the country directly north of South Africa.
Yeah.
But
So
that
it's
you
like-
know, yeah, it's not an apartheid country. Is my point. It's the
it's like-
opposite of that.
It's like Canada to the U.S.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Like no standing army, vast mineral wealth. Every kid in Botswana gets to go to college. If you can get accepted to the Sorbonne, they will send you there. The deal is, when you come back, you have to work for like 3 to 5 years in civil service, depending on the job. Botswana is an amazing, positive African democracy story, unlike many other stories of democracy in Africa. It's a pretty cool place. So, yeah. No, I don't think so. Botswana is larger than South Africa. I want to check because I don't think it is. Botswana is about the size of Texas. So it's like in fact, if you look at the map, it almost looks like you flip Texas around backwards. It almost has the same shape. I mean, and I like the stories about when we lived there. It's very different now, but when we lived there, our phone number was 8. Yeah, there were still like old coal burning steam engines running the railroads. Like it was, yeah. And the phone, by the way, our phone number was 8, but the phone was a mile from our house. So if somebody drove to our house and told us there was a phone call, it meant someone died. Like you didn't get any wrong number phone calls.
Right.
Yeah. There were 23 miles of paved road in the entire country when we lived there, and 4 miles of that was around the president's residence in the capital. Yeah. If I moved to Africa, I would 100% become a warlord. You would not be welcome in Botswana. I'm telling you, it's not a militaristic place at all. They don't even have a standing army, and they live between South Africa and what's now Zimbabwe. So that's a hell of a gamble. But there's actually a movie called The Kingdom of Our Own about Seretse Khama, the first president of Botswana, and his life story. It's pretty amazing, and you should watch it because it's a sweet, great little movie about the place where I lived as a kid. And part of what I want to write about going back there is, yes, we were privileged white people, but we were also we were not the people in power when we were there, right? It was a black ruled democracy, and they could have been really awful to us, and they weren't. So that's a pretty cool place.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Fred was thinking New Zealand because Middle Earth was pretty. If New
That's
Zealand
not a bad
is
choice.
if New Zealand is too far, Vancouver Island looks almost
I
identical.
was just gonna say, yeah,
Really
southwestern British Columbia is
Dude.
that's not a bad option. Sunshine
Yeah.
Coast.
If we had to bug out Vancouver Island, like especially like if things started to get like really, really messed up, like Vancouver Island or any of the islands around there, is probably like, you know, if we like the zombie apocalypse, that's where I would go. Except you go to Yellowknife and then they all freeze and then you're good, because that's always been kind of the thing about zombies, just that they're not immune from freezing solid.
But Dave says he's going to become a warlord. I take over Botswana because I'm a warlord. Duh. And then he says, but Botswana is safe because Africa is way too hot. It is.
Oh.
It is hot. We saw 130-degree days a few times where I lived. Where 85 degrees in the house felt cool. You know, it's that kind of hot.
Yeah, Dave. After watching Alone, I don't know if I want to go.
I laughed so hard at that show because, like, they were like, "How hard? It's a rainforest. There's plenty of food. How hard can it be?"
Honestly, like, I would have expected the fishing to be better, but I could see, like, especially on like some of the wavy coasts or whatever, like it becomes kind of hard. But like, I was surprised at the like people are lasting significantly longer in the Arctic, which like is unforgiving and like actually hard. But like that like the rain, like the constant rain and constant wet will drive you completely bananas.
It will, and I like the rain. I didn't have any problem, but like, you know, 29 straight days of torrential rain is that's a little much. It's and everything gets muddy. It's less comfortable than I thought it would be. Right. But I got to tell you, like it wasn't cold where I was compared to where you're from. But I love the weather where we lived. I absolutely love the weather. I don't have the problem with I need more sunshine. But yeah, 28 straight days of rain is that's a little much. Yeah.
Antarctica is becoming beachy. Well, so I was talking to Michelle about this before. So we're watching Alone, which is all it's about 350 miles southeast of Yellowknife. And am I humble bragging about that? Yes. Do I live in Miami now? Also, yes. So they were talking about the temperature at like the particular date that they were doing it, which I guess is like last year now. And I thought it looked really warm, and I still am not super good on the like Fahrenheit. Like I think in Fahrenheit now, but like going back to sort of the centigrade situation, I was like, that looks way too warm. So I checked it out, and like December temperatures now are at least 10 degrees warmer than when I grew up. Right? Like the Arctic is categorically a canary in the coal mine. Like no shit, every single day it's 10 degrees warmer on average than when I was growing up there in December.
Well, it's like yesterday I saw a report that said the Greenland glaciers have now reached a point of no return. All the glacial mass in Greenland is going away. It will be gone. It's not like
that's 8 feet of ocean rise.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bye, Hudson.
So glad I live on the second floor.
Do you live 8 feet above sea level though?
I'm on the second floor.
Do you live 8 feet above sea level?
Oh no. We're 1 foot above sea level at this house.
No. But like, so 1 foot above sea level in that house is the first floor 7 feet.
Yeah. But we'd have to swim to US 19 from here.
And like super high tide, you'd be neck deep in water.
Yeah. I don't think Africa has near the amount of roller coasters and fruit punch stands that I've been led to believe. Busch Gardens is fake news. True. There's not. Yeah.
How dare they? Granted, like, you know, all you guys move into Africa, we're like, we need more stuff, and then you know, so like 100 years from now, maybe that'll be different.
Yep. Hey, yeah, Silvestri, I don't remember Florida being this hot in 1987. It wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. Our winters were cooler, more consistently cooler than they have been, and longer. You know, freezes in March and April. We're not. Remember, we had snow in 1977 here in Pasco County. That was a hell of a day. You know, I remember. I specifically why December 26th, 1982 was 14 degrees in Moon Lake. I remember because I got married that day. and I now refer to that as the day hell froze over. So, but yeah, 14 degrees in Moon Lake in 1983. Yep. Yep, we're having the same thing, Elizabeth. Our locals are making a big show. Who can worship the police hardest? We have the same thing going on here. The Back the Bleu, the Bork the Bleu mural in Tampa was painted without a permit.
Of
right?
course it
And
was.
they've arrested 4 people yesterday for vandalizing it. So they didn't get in trouble for painting it without a permit, but the people that vandalized it got arrested yesterday. That's how things are going in Tampa.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and hang out with Babs on a tiny little
Good
sailboat in the Keys.
That's a good plan.
It doesn't move. It is just parked on the ocean, behind a taxi cab stand apparently, and I don't care. And I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna go to the back of the. I think it's only like 22 feet. It's a really small sailboat, and I'm just gonna fall off into the ocean and be like, today is better.
Yeah. Dave
And then-
Eichenberger, I did not know that Graham was from South Africa. I definitely want to meet him and talk about that for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You want to back the blue, back the U.S. Postal Service. Hallelujah, brother.
Preach.
Yeah.
Man, it's such a messed up year.
It's the culmination. It's the culmination of the 2016 election.
Yeah, it was like,
And I keep getting asked, how do we change this? Well, we built a time machine.
well, so that's what I was thinking. Like the number of times, Greg, that you and I talked about how bad it was going to get, and
Yeah.
like in our fever dreams, it was this, right? Like trying to explain to everyone, no, this is possible that this will go this way because it is very clear he doesn't care at all. And of course, we were completely, totally mental, psychotic, crazy people, except for, of course, the people here who, we're looking at all the same stuff that we were looking at. It's weird to be here now, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, here we are. How are you? Hey, you want to do a coffee cheers? Whee! Yep. Only blue-eyed black. Oh, sorry. Only blue-eyed black is the Smurfs. I like it.
All right. Yeah, let's get out of here. There's a meatloaf sandwich over there with my name on it.
Nice. I'm gonna get packed up. Listen, I love all you people. Like, no matter how anxious you get, take whatever time you need, take whatever breathing space you need, and when it gets really bad, ask yourself what you're gonna do. Don't sit in it for any longer than you absolutely have to. And even if it's just, if it feels like it isn't enough, but you can still do it, that's got to be enough. It just has to. And if we have to escalate, then we're going to do that too. Because what else are we going to do? Fucking give up? No. So.
Yep, we're going to keep trudging.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. If anyone has, any genius ideas, any candidates that are out there working, we were supposed to have Liam on this morning, but he ended up not feeling too good, so he had to reschedule. Probably having him on Wednesday. Any candidates that are doing really, really good work, we want to talk to them. Anybody who's actively helping, anybody who's organizing, get out the vote, or anything like that. Like if you come across anyone like that and you think that they would be a good, powerful addition to our conversation here, let me know. We'll have them on, and we'll at least juice this up. Don't listen to Dave Myers. It's fucking bullshit. Worst.
I'm not so sure.
I thought you were going to say that.
I'm kind of with Dave this morning.
Yeah, okay. That's it's bad when one of us is like, Dave Myers is low key right. We should buy guns.
If you need firearm safety instruction or advice, I'm your man.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I'm that lefty they don't talk about. I'm the lefty that I like guns and meat. So fuck those people.
Hey, Penn said that the crazy psycho lefties are gonna lower the amount of red meat you can eat. So right. I got some red meat for you. Blah blah blah. Barf coming out of his face. Yeah. Never mind that's totally completely the right thing to do until we have that freaking crazy new not meat shit that's apparently supposed to be really, really good. It's gonna be exciting when that scales and we can stop killing.
Yes, Mike. Yes, Mike. Yeah, you caveman. I'm a bear. Totally a bear.
Are we still talking about the same thing?
Not really.
No. No.
If I were gay, I would be a bear. That's what we're talking about.
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just a
making sure.
thing.
It didn't sound like you did, but okay.
No, I totally did. I was trying to be funny. Would that would that maybe like a cub? Because I think I'm pretty close to bear country. I think.
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't.
I'm
know.
pretty.
I'm no expert. I'm no expert in categorizing canines. No, Michael says no. I'm not really. Okay. I don't know if that was I don't know about me or you. I don't know anymore.
This is exactly where this conversation is ending.
Call me. Otter. Wait. See, I'm not confused. Is Corey an otter or am I an otter? Or
What is an otter? What the hell?
Oh, I'll let Michael explain this.
Yeah. We can't end the show now. God damn it.
We're waiting for Michael to type in. I'll share a link.
There's an explainer.
Yeah, Corey is an otter. There it is. Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Let's see.
I'm cool that I do plan on spending most of my time in the ocean. So that's great.
I think that sounds like a good plan. Just
anyway,
don't get eaten by a shark.
Right. The next time there's a live from this channel is going to be Sunday. Greg and Bob are going to be doing the secular sermon, which will be some more time of relative reason and calm and watching a sunrise, which is really oddly compelling inside Minecraft. We do it all together after expressing some gratitude. That starts at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. I won't be here for it, but I'll be here in, I would say spirit, but those are bullshit.
All right.
You want to say the thing?
Oh, yeah. Sasquatch is real. And